طاول يلبان فاثر السيسن من طيبوث
نتربى بصبيانه بخير مشقين الموت
كل من الخير
Okay, we'll see who's here. Have a seat, please. So, I see. I saw Alan here. Oh, there's Alan. Okay. Alan's here. Andreas is here. Bashar is here, unfortunately. John, Cindy, right?
Yes.
Marlo's here. Nardine is St. Paul. I'd be very impressed if you came for that. Nashwan. Paul Anderson. You're Paul Anderson.
I am.
I know you. You do not look like a Paul Anderson.
I am.
Shabbat Shalom, I saw it. It's here. Rimon. Summer. Tim. Tarek is not here. Okay. He's traveling. He's roaming. So, and then, Wada Adia. Wadah. And then Brother Sinan, maybe will come, maybe not. And then Shamash Najab. Okay. Is anybody here who I didn't call? That'll be very weird. Okay, good. Almost everybody's here. So this is your class. Plus, Shamash Tada. Brother Sinan will be joining you for your classes. And a guy named Nardine Vartanyan, who is in North Hollywood. And I'm recording this for him, and you guys can review this. Can somebody mark? Can you close that door? People are loud. Okay, Shannon Amaya. Everyone is okay. Is the link working for everybody? You were able to get into the courses? Good. Brother Sanan said he requested some kind of code for him, but everyone else got it? Okay, good. Okay. Few notes. Makim Surah fi English. Does everybody know English? Or should I translate Qasam Surah?
Qasam Surah.
Qasam Surah?
Yeah.
Or Mishkah? Okay. Okay. I'll start in English and I'll translate as needed to calculate. Okay. There are 9.
هنا
Yeah.
كلنا شيء سورة يعني كيف تنقي سورة كلها it's okay.
Yeah, I'll go back and forth.
Okay.
I'll go back and forth. Darle Etanaya in the Chaldean church, the Church of the East, Ila Tishna, there's 9 ranks of holy of orders in the Church of the East. Lector, I can even point there, lector, subdeacon, okay, and this one represents deacon. Okay, this is what you're going for. But diaconate is the first one that is the sacrament of holy orders. Shamshanutha, Qaranagatha, Shamashin Gelari, is the first one, Dina, Raza, Kahanutha, Kimshad, Raza, Kahanutha. The sacrament of holy orders. The other ones are participations in the liturgy, but they're not the sacrament of holy orders. That's why maybe when you became a lector, you were volunteering for a little while, and then you helped a little bit, you were reading, and then and then maybe you took a course for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you became a lector. Subdeacon, same thing probably happened. Okay, then you go to subdeacon. Now, how's it 3 years? I've been serving the church for 20 years, 30 years. No. This is a different dharma. This is the sacrament of holy orders. That means a deacon officially represents the Catholic Church. This is a serious thing. A lector, maybe you'll say something, subdeacon, you'll say something, okay, that's great. Somehow when people see you, they see a reflection of the liturgy of the church. Great. But a deacon, the church is saying, this man participates in the teaching office of the church. He participates in the sanctifying office of the church. He participates in the ruling office of the church and of the priesthood. It's a serious thing. That's why the law of the church, 3 years of education, not volunteering, not serving. It's the canon law of the church. لا شموش خدام شموش عيش الإبن أنا أسريش بن محمد بشري مشمشم دراسة علمية, and that's what the church is asking. The church is also saying the instruction of deacon candidates resembles and is similar to and draws from the training of priests. So what you're getting is similar to, about half of what the full priestly curriculum is. Because you're sharing the priesthood. Okay? So it's serious teaching. It's real study. I hope it's challenging for everybody, but I hope it's not impossible for anybody. It was very hard. سيدنا كما ميري أوذ درست بشمشان بيشن شمشان. I ندبخ لي بركي أبخم شنو تخبون بقاوة. Because Kevin يخطب إلى دريس الشن كبير بقو كلية يخطب بركي لوا ليلة ديش بقو كلية أو كلاسروم إسريشن. وبركي إلى تخرونا زلوثي بس ليلة قري خطاوة بأوبشن. So I have to do something to krahma, to kullu. It's very hard to find something that's going to be challenging for somebody who's been in grad school just recently, but also not impossible for somebody who's still getting their English down or something like that. It's also going to be surah surah إن يبشروا امتحان وخاصة surah easy. وخاتم النخو بالشرط. It's going to be shown. So من دي سهلة تخدم بهاو سهلة تخدم من دي هاو سهلة and vice versa. That's okay. We're all in this together. It's important that you take it seriously, but don't give up. Okay, it's okay. It's supposed to be challenging. It's on purpose. Okay. Because I'm considering this, and the church is considering this, somehow a participation, a sharing in seminary formation. And Sayyidina very correctly, some people were saying, can we do a diaconate course? He understood immediately that's the job of the seminary. Because it's a participation. Luckily, I've been doing this for a long time. The first thing is this. Theology is not catechism. There's a difference. Catechism means there's these questions and I learn the answers. Why did God create you? God created human beings so they could know Him and love Him and serve Him. Beautiful. There's little kids, they learn that, they understand it, that's it, that's catechism. What are the seven sacraments? That's great. Memorization is catechism. Theology is not that. Theology is logos. It's thinking. What I'm going to teach you, you might not learn any one more sentence of what you already know from your catechism. What you're going to learn over the next 3 years is how to think deeply about the faith. Not just, I memorized this answer and here's the answer I memorized. The idea is I'm going to teach you how to think in a sophisticated, serious way. And that means it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to learn a skill to apply your mind in a way that you haven't done before. That's why the church requires philosophy to be part of your training. Philosophy is very difficult for most people. And it's supposed to be. That's how your mind is going to grow and it's going to be challenged. And because I'm considering you like, I don't know what to say, half seminarians, something like that, okay? هل تلميذ سمينار هذا؟ بل قبل ربع ثلث بل خمسة هذا تلميذ سمينار. Because of that, I'm going to be as mean to you as I am to seminarians. حاول يقول الموجود في ديوان من تلميذ سمينار. because هذا كراوان مش. هذا كبيشي يعني كلمة بش عمود. And that means I'm going to throw a bunch of classes at you, I'm going to throw a bunch of readings at you, and I'm going to say, figure it out. When you have a baby, there's that kid, Marlo's kid, Elijah's here every day. Oh, Marlo's with us. Marlo and Elijah, you feed him with a spoon. I'm not going to do that for you. You guys are adults. I'm not going to feed you with a spoon, I'm going to feed you with a polka. Shkol. Here's a bunch of stuff. figure it out. I'll be here to answer questions. Once a week we'll meet right here at this time. And you're going to teach yourself. Because that's what adults do. That's what college is. That's what seminary is. And if Father Kino or Father Simon or Father Danny or Father Chris or Father Peter or any of these priests that you've seen that have gone through our seminary, if they have been successful and good and wise as priests, it's not because of me. It's because I made them learn how to learn for themselves. Because I didn't answer every one of their questions. And when they came to me, Father, what about this? I would say, I don't know, figure it out. You have the internet too, I have the internet. You have books too, you know how to read, I know how to read. And then when they make a mistake, I say, no, that's wrong. Okay, then what's the right answer? How can I figure it out? I know that's wrong now. That you see how the difference between that and, okay, here's the answer, here's the answer. I'm not going to do that. Leo tu yazo. You want to go to, you want to go to, they definitely want to go. Go to Canada. Talk about that. There's going to be some things that are not going to quite make sense to you. Why this? Why that? Why are we reading this guy? Why are we reading that book? I'm going to make you read at least probably 4 or 5 books written by atheists. I'm going to make you read it next quarter, the quarter after that. I'm going to make you read it. You're going to go, what is it? Why am I reading this guy? Because if you can't face this guy, how are you going to understand your faith? Look at من دي عموقة ابن مجاوب ابن حمر برضو ابن هاو ومجاوب تكفاهم. So it's going to be very challenging. There are going to be things that you're going to make, it might even make you question your faith. Good. If you never question your faith, what kind of faith do you have? What kind of strength do you have? So there's going to be some things that you're not going to know. Why is Father when you do this? What is this? Good. Hopefully, at the beginning, maybe you're not there yet. Hopefully, a year, 2 years in, you're going to start to trust me. There's a reason behind everything. I'm not going to tell you why. Because I need you to trust me. You got to give me some credit. I've been doing this for a while. You remember The Karate Kid? Have you seen that movie? The original Karate, not the one with Will Smith's son, the original Karate Kid. And the first one, have you seen that, Karate Kid? He goes to him and he's like, I want to learn karate. He's like, okay. First, wash my car. Remember? And then now wax my car. And then he makes him wax his car. And he gets frustrated. And now it turns out he was teaching all along. That's how hopefully you're going to feel that someday. Probably not. At the beginning, you're going to be very annoyed and you're going to hate me, and that's fine. You can hate me as much as you want. I hate myself sometimes. No, I don't care. It's okay. I can take it.
You need to wash your car?
What is it?
You need to wash your car?
My car is disgusting. But
are you volunteering?
Well, you got 13 of us, so.
No, I also have, Allah gave me the sticker for Sophie Joseph, so I can just write
For 1 year, yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay. Last thing, I just want to go through a list of a couple of things that I want you to understand as even as sub-deacons, but especially as people preparing for, hopefully for the diaconate. Poisons, saman and shemshanu family. First, pride, entitlement, wanting special treatment. Ramutha, atla shemshanu. Atla لفتيك السام. Ramutha. What's Ramutha mean? Kafir Razin. دكتور شمشين مريم عمي لاي الشغلة دكتور طالي أنا عزيزي عير رموز أوكي ميلاد دكتور أوكي ليه بيشتغل نخلي خدامة كلها ومشمشانة لازم بيشحروا خدامة من كل عام لازم هاو الدمية تخدم تعمم شيحة إني الدمية رموزة ما بيكون أناش إن خشت على الانتحاق واللي متمنفوذ الحق الشمس عزيزي صح التوفى حق كل كل شيء حياته حقوق بس اللي تاخذون الحقوق دي ولا بخدمه ما مشمشم poison, that kind of pride. Entitlement. Special treatment. خاصة كله اوكي خلي لازم نودي بس انا هو شغال البلد. Every year we have the calendar, the church calendar. It's very nice. I am always in favor. Shamasha should get a calendar for free. I always fight for that. Gahatha like depending on the pastor or the bishop or whatever, that the Shamasha don't get one. Okay, it's not the end of the world. You pay for one. إلى $5 لا أنا وشماشة لازم يوم البلد. تأثر إذا أصلا الله هم قهوة لا شرب بصدق الله هم خيام ولا شرب. You're gonna get upset over this. شماشة okay fine. I promise. Every year I say the Shamasha should come for free. If it doesn't happen, why would it? You can be an example to everybody else. Okay, I'm happily going to pay for this. I'm going to donate to the church. How would you do it? لا بشتغل الخدمة. How would you do it? إيش أكتب مع مدينة. ما يوحنا مع ذلك مع مثل إيش. تنتهي دنيا طالع. يقول بشتغل إيش مخلل أخلاق. يقول بشتغل منه. يقول بشتغل منه please see if زي خيات خدمة. لك بفناش إلا بشتغل إيش. كبخدام. Second, so pride is one poison. The second one related to it, drawing attention to yourself versus Christ. حب ناشئ فرجي خير قاوف ولا بيشا. دف أنا وسيلة. أنا كمان خدمة. Okay, no, please. إني لقاوة وسيلة, great. If you have a good voice, awesome. We need that in the church. It's very important. It really is very important. But اوكي قالي وسيله وفيدا دوري تتخدم وكيف كان قالي وسيله وقرشن قراشه تلقيت شيء ببرد بشريا وشلا اوكي هاي تمشي حلي طابخ يود مش قال شو هذا بجانو يا مش ابوها تعيشه بشريا وشلا بحرك بين خمني براسه دير دوره إن قرشتك راشة مش كامل من خلل يود مغزوي جامد. إن أمنت بقالة كلك كذا قالة شبحنا لها حي. We know how to say it شبحنا لها حي. Okay, say it شبحنا لها حي. Those words mean glorify God who's alive, the living God. Okay, يمكن شبوح تعالى. بس ما يفتح. شبحنا لها حياة وزنه فقاوة. You're not glorifying God anymore. أنا أتي 45 years old. I've been to, I don't know how many, 10,000 masses, God knows how many masses I've been to. We all say it the same. And probably for thousands of years, everyone in the world has said, شبحنا لها حياة. Period. ده له لا كدي نديب ما يخدم. يقول بشطر من كل دي لا يتقامه. Who are you glorifying? Not Christ and not the church. You see how poisonous that can be? So that's why when you learn, وكل قال يعني بيتي من البخل. وقايد آية البخل because لما تأخذك من قبل من آتي دخ آتي ولبنا كل شيء. لبنا كيف? I want to do what everybody's done for the last 2,000 years. I don't want to do my own thing. Who am I to make my own thing? That's the way you think as a church, especially, and even more as a priest, as a bishop. Okay. Third, also related, gossip. Deacons, because they're closer to the church, might hear more about the church. And if you enjoy hearing more and knowing more, and if you get upset when you don't know more, very bad habit. Very, very bad. محكوي الناس. شموتوا. أخذوا يقولوا لهم قريب الأكل. شموتوا مش كامل. ما هو الأثقاش ما هو الأشماش دخل بلاي مطلع هذا في البطل هذا وبابا هذا. شموتوا مش كامل. إن عاجب له أثمني please يبيتو أثمني لسانه قاطل روح اليوم وإن شمت من خلق علي ذي أقول لك عليكم قلت شو نخيل أثقاشب أوروبا ولا هذا شو المني يدك لا يدك مبرد على هذا مش شو حي على gossip really is poisonous and it's because you're close to the church you're going to have more access to it. Be very careful. I'm not saying be careful, don't say this, don't say that. Yeah, of course don't say it. Of course don't gossip. I'm saying don't enjoy it. I'm saying don't let yourself like hearing about gossip. It's a very, very poisonous thing. Because it directs the attention from Christ to Mawd al-Fajr. يمشي حدايا الموت. Again, all these are related to pride. All sins really kind of trace back to pride. Thinking you know everything. Thinking your opinion is the best one. In fact, even having an opinion on something that you've never thought about, khashan family. Dash me. 30 seconds ago, Shmeni, I heard about this, and I have an opinion on it. Aziz, قد تقيت لك why do you different to shower? How can you have an opinion on something that you just thought about? That is the mark of an uneducated person. To have an opinion on something that they've never thought about. Hold off on opinions. Okay, and it's okay to say I don't know. It's okay to say when we think about it. It's okay to say let's see what happens. Again, all this kind of leaks in from pride. Included in that, thinking you know everything, having opinions on things that you've never thought about, including criticizing things that you don't understand. I'm a very negative person. Everybody knows that about me. I can be very mean. And I know this is a vice of myself and I need to fight it. To walk in, هل لك مين ببراية ومشوريل دردون. عزيزي مين ببراية ببكي يتخلني بفرد لك فهمت. Okay, give yourself a chance to understand it before you start criticizing. We get very, very negative. أخني ديلا يفقري وبشيحة وبشك ما خوب اسمه. فهم يلا قضية وبعدين ببكي يتخلني لكن. Please, give people a chance. It includes judging others, judging each other. ببكي يتخلى شاخة تما قايا وكم قبل. شو نخيل عزيز؟ تدينا تتخلى شاخة. لكن ما يثبت ولا شمالي هذا خلي بلكي دبل وبلكي هون شقة شو هذا خلي وهم ليش don't be a little bit open, a little bit more positive. Okay, last couple of things. This is a different issue. But من الطالب I hope كل شماشة يعني مشان هذا إلى تاني. Zmara mean, what is Zmara? Singing. What do we do in church? Someone from Yetta?
No.
Kamzamru. You're going to learn this when you take the Chaldean grammar. So when you put a meme in front of the root, it's called an intensive form. It changes the meaning slightly. Zmara is singing. Mzamore, with the meme at the beginning, gives it a specialized meaning. It means chanting. Like Zamru, we don't sing in church, we chant. If you want to be really precise. In English we say sing whatever. But in Chaldean, Zamora is the church way of singing. Okay? So that's different from singing. So you're not going to sing like, even Luay, who's a great singer, but the way he sings in church is not the same as the way he sings in a hall. وموسيقى الليلة فاتت موسيقى مرايا. موسيقى together. So that's one thing. That's one distinction. Singing versus chanting. There's also a difference between those two and yelling. Ayot khamani mzamora khamani khamani. وعلى واشا ماشي كذي ولا ثاني. ختم شماشة هلا ثاني. أشوى آيات وزمانة ومزمورة نفس الدنيا. ما قد معرض قالوا قالوا عليها مش نسيم. يتم ذوية نفيها الناشئ. أوش وأخذ كله كذي. أوش ماشي. كمزامة مش بسيمة ليلة أو على الجبال. إلى أود كم يقرأ على تتجاوب قالت تتشبه قريب وبس. When you're yelling, when you're screaming, you're drawing attention to yourself, not to Christ. Okay? Then we'll get into some more musical things. There's one thing I just noticed this. Again, what you want to do is glorify God and serve the people. I just want to give one example of this, and then I'll see if you have questions, and I'll let you know. One example of this, we have Ramshahar every day. Ramshahar every day. Could you بالإنجليزي كنت flip at 5:40 خبرات. كل تعرف شو كل كل مشاركة عنيفة. إذا تتغابت مشاركة عنيفة ينتكر ختم ذنن قال إلى بشخصه. Some people have just a lower voice. They have a lower range. It's called a register, vocal register. You just sing low. Some singers just can sing really deep. Some people just have a higher register. أنا خاصة even I'm a little bit on the lower side, but I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm a little bit on the lower side. One example, Matran Basilios, Yadu. His voice is very high pitched. His register is just high. Okay. So what big deal? When you're chanting by yourself, fine. But when you start an anif, everybody else has to sing with you. You're singing the pitch. If you know about yourself that your voice is lower than everybody else, or your voice is higher than everybody else, on purpose, lower your voice to match everybody else. Be uncomfortable. خاصة مع الجانب تدخلني بزمر. قال لي أنا أوكي ما اختي يا أخي. يقول مشروع عنيف تدخلني بشكل لا بس عايز بزمر. خاصة تدخل بخلي قدام هيك لا كان. Why am I بالياحة on this thing? Because people don't even think about it. And some people know about it. And they don't care. عزيزي خاصة حبتك أخوانك ليه بدك بزمر إن شاء الله. خاصة مع غيرك معي. كذا تيجي توقع. كذا الآخر. خاصة معي. كذا الآخر. خاصة معي. تدخلنا بشكل لا بس. You know what I'm telling you? That's just an example of charity. That way the whole church gets to glorify God. And it's not just going to whoa, you're again. You see that? One example, I just thought of it because Ramsha every day, people go too high or too low. Think about others, or just follow what the priest is doing. Priests are trained to sing more or less in the middle. Okay? We'll get to that in the second and third year, but these are just the basic things I wanted to introduce you guys with. Questions or comments on anything I just said? So you can start your classes now. Once a week I'll be here. 6:30 to 7 o'clock. If we need to go a little later, that's okay too. Take it at your own time. If you can do one class a week for 10 weeks, great. If you have a little bit more time, بدي تخطط من شولة وأثير خليته فوق شولة كي بتخصص كل خياراتك great feel free. It's asynchronous, do whatever you want. إن كنت سورة كذبت إن كنت شقال امتحان وخلصت great. إن كانت سورة بس okay you want to know زي خازن بدي عشان ديالي خليني أنا لك okay that's fine. It's up to you. So next week, for example, the first reading is Gilgamesh, the epic of Gilgamesh. Read the reading, listen to my lecture. Come next week. If you have a question on him, we'll talk about it. If you finish Gilgamesh and you start reading Aristotle, and you want to ask about Aristotle, we'll ask about Aristotle. However, wherever you are. It's okay. They'll hear it, maybe they'll remember what we need to read. So wherever you are, you can come and ask any question in the curriculum, in the classes that you're taking. Good? Questions, comments? Yeah.
It's not mandatory to be here every
No. Totally optional. خيام هو بس أنا وبرضه فهمر in Aristotle. Yeah.
In the first lecture of Genesis,
Yes.
I saw the video for Genesis. You were explaining everything. Then you were sick, and you said there is a link
Yes.
for that. I couldn't find the link. There is no other
Go
video.
back to Google. It's right under the Genesis link, isn't it?
I couldn't find
It's man 1B. There's man 1A and then
Well, as a
1.
video, I didn't show it. I didn't see it as a video.
I'll check now.
Please, you can.
I'm pretty sure it's there. Just go back to Google and you'll see it under the Genesis link.
Okay, and what do you recommend the best way to study the class? Getting the video first, or read first, then getting the video? Or
First, always
see the
read.
question. I know, you said see the question.
Always read first.
Read?
Yeah. Questions, then read, then video. Then we come and discuss. Yeah.
And there is no books required to purchase.
No, everything I need in a PDF, I scanned it, but there so you don't have to buy anything. I'm going to try to always do that.
Thank you.
تلزم تزولوا to calendar and stuff.
The tests are ready to go. Someone can take the
Anytime
test.
you want. Yep.
Can you just look through the test, or is it counted as you go into it?
No, once you click, you have to take it.
When I
Don't click it. If you clicked it, I have to reset it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, don't click it until you're ready to take it. I don't want you to know what's on the test until you take it.
On the grammar or?
Both of them. Grammar and philosophy of man. I don't want you to click it until you're ready to take the test. You already did?
I think everybody did. I printed it out just to see what it is. I printed it out just to see what it
It's
is.
okay. It's okay. Throw it away. Yeah.
And the exam is one try, right?
Yeah, and I'm not going to be mean about it. John, if it's that bad, send me an email. You could wash my car and then I'll let you go here.
Nobody, not everybody have a car wash.
I do have a question. Regarding some, I did the same thing admittingly. I clicked on it so I can get a sneak peek and look at it.
Yeah.
Are the answers that are expected, because it's not very clear, is it in depth, like the very first question about Gilgamesh? What are they trying to do?
So here's the thing. When I teach philosophy of man, usually I'll have a midterm and a final and a paper. You guys are not going to have to ever write a paper. So whenever you hear me in the lecture saying, oh, for your paper, do this, ignore any reference to the paper.
Okay.
You guys are not going to have to write a paper. In place of that, I want you to write little paragraphs for your answers. How much do I want? As much as you can write, as much as you can think of.
Okay.
Be as thorough as you can. Some of them are going to be 2 sentences. Some of them are going to be a couple paragraphs. I'm not going to mark you down for your grammar. If you want, by the way, have to do it بشكل يعني قيمة بشكل سورة بالعربي. I am very okay with كتولة بالعربي, put it in Google Translate and paste it into that. That's fine. You don't have to write it in English. And then I can figure out Google Translate. I can figure out what you're trying to say. Feel free to do that. Yeah.
And so there, just to add on to that, and I have a follow-up question. There is no limit to how much you can write.
Nope.
It's not going to. Okay.
Nope. Give me a headache.
Regarding now the Chaldean classes, the exam in itself is in Western font, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
in Synergy. Yeah, sure. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yep.
Cool.
There's a chart at the beginning of both the green book and the blue book that gives you the alphabets compared.
Okay. Great.
I believe, Bashar, don't quote me on this, but I believe you can, if you want, if it's really killing you that it's in Synergy, you're going to have to learn it at some point. But if you don't feel like doing it yet, if you copy it from Chrome into Word and then change the font to an Eastern font, it'll change. You'll be able to read it more. Yeah. Mark can help you install those fonts. Good, these are nice questions. Other questions? I'm not out to get you. I don't want to fail anybody. I want you guys to learn and I want to help you do this.
What kind of answers are you looking for? From the lecture itself, from
Good
the
question.
paper, or from our own knowledge and background?
I want it
Because there's
mostly, to answer your question, I want it from the lecture. I want to know that you're paying attention to the lecture. Yeah. Yeah. So I am looking for very specific answers of what the way I phrase things. Because the exams are a way to make sure you took the class. Yeah. Good questions. Who's excited? Who's nervous? Who's frustrated? Who hates me already?
أنا إنجليزي أكيد.
Bashar,
I don't even know how to use a computer.
هابي كذا أخني وخ مني كمباشر يعني المرتوم فدائما كاوخ يعني يوخ بقور وكل من دي فلازم عذرة الدين. باك جراوند دين لا سوجن
I
سوجن
love
مارشال
questions. I love questions. It's fun to answer them. Sometimes I'm going to say I don't know. Sometimes I'm going to say figure it out. Sometimes I'll answer it, depending on my mood.
I do actually have one other question. On the books, can we do audibles instead of reading them?
Okay. Hearing the book is the same thing. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is a good question. If you have a copy of Gilgamesh in Arabic, read it. Let that illa بالإنجليزي go. If you can find a copy of Aristotle's book on the soul, Arabic, and you want to read it in Arabic, read it. It'll be easier with some things that I don't think you're going to find Freud in Arabic either. T.S. Eliot. But if you can find it, why not? If you want to copy and paste it into Google Translate and read it in Arabic, that's okay. I don't have any objection to that. Nice questions, I think. Shane, if they don't move, Msalo Takhatana, Msalo Medali, or Msalo Medali?
One last question.
Yes.
Is the final, does it include the midterm also?
No. My final exams are never inclusive. It's just the second half of the class.
So
Good
just a
question.
question.
So once you finish the midterm, forget about everything you learned and keep moving.
Good,
If you know that.
Good questions, thank you. Okay. Shane, if they